Hello, Nippies. Welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Nips, a freelance artist. And today we have somewhat of a video from the vault that I just dragged out today because we had some pretty big technical difficulties with the video that was supposed to be uploaded yesterday. And I didn't want to leave you without a video this week. And so I brought this one out from the vault. In the vault, I have videos that I just don't think are good enough to post on YouTube or anywhere, but I keep them anyway because why not? Why throw it away? And I'm bringing this one out specifically because I have been told multiple times recently that people miss some of my OOTD drawings. And for those of you that don't know me, I really, really love fashion. Fashion is, aside from art, one of my biggest outlets of self expression. I have been enjoying it since I was really, really young, always dressing up, taking pictures of the outfits, and I love bright colors and layers and patterns and every piece is a statement piece. Yeah, I absolutely love fashion, and in that same vein, photography. I love taking pictures of the outfits and documenting them, and I everything about it is very, very cathartic and lovely to me. And one of the things that I only recently did, this video is from 2021. So I've had this video for quite some time now. Around this era, I was doing these drawings pretty regularly. So I'll probably throw some on the screen so you guys can see them. And I really do not like to draw myself. I don't know if there's any artists out there that struggle with this. I have seen memes where artists, some of them love to draw themselves, some of them don't. Some of them always do these like caricatures of themselves. I usually do like the little like dehumanized like little nippy drawings because that is probably as far and as I can go while still feeling comfortable depicting myself in some sort of way artistically. So which team are you? Let me know in the comments down below and why. I am very curious to know what type of artist you are and why, because I cannot seem to get around the fact that I just do not like to draw myself. However, with these drawings, I kind of found it much, much easier, if not completely easy to draw myself because it was more about the outfits than it was about myself. And when I spun it this way, it kind of became more of like, well, I'm just like a vessel for the outfit, so to speak, rather than actually being myself in the drawing. And so, kind of focusing on that made it much easier to kind of continue with the drawing. And these were really, really fun to do. And now that I'm looking at them, and now that several of you have mentioned how much you miss these, I miss these a lot now too. I think I want to revisit these. So maybe you'll see me making a video of these sorts of drawings in the future. But yeah. So one of the reasons I also wanted to bring this video out from the vault is because people always ask me, how do I improve my anatomy? How do I draw like you? And first of all, don't aim to draw like me. Aim to draw like yourself. And the reason I say that is just because, you want to focus more on developing your own style rather than drawing like someone else, if that makes sense. But that's a whole topic for another video, okay? But you can emulate to learn, but emulate to learn and not to become, okay? We'll keep that for another video. Let me know if you want that video. But people ask me how they can learn to draw bodies like me, and honestly I'm still learning how to draw bodies like me because we always need to aim to be better, and there is a lot that I can learn about drawing bodies still. But one of the things that I think I even myself forgot to mention until now, because I very rarely draw chibis, is the use of chibis to be better at drawing bodies, and not just bodies but pretty much anything. And the reason I say this is because they share a pretty big similarity to armor when it comes to what makes them so important in developing your fundamentals as an artist. Those of you that have been drawing for a while or are new or have, you know, any sort of artist will know that drawing armor is a headache, okay? Some of you out there are just built different, okay? We know that. But some of us mortals here, we struggle with armor, okay? And armor forces you to have some sort of like spatial awareness and to create tangible space and volume in your drawing. And if you don't understand how to depict that on paper, how to depict the 3D space onto a 2D, you know, medium, it is going to be very difficult for you to draw armor. And not just like armor itself, but think about what it's like to, and not just like the armor as a concept, but think about the things that you have to do when drawing armor. You have to layer these individual pieces that you already require a lot of knowledge of space and depicting space on paper, but now you have to layer these individual pieces multiple times. And then if you break down each piece of armor and think about how much you have to learn about space and dimension and everything, and then you could just keep breaking it down and down. And so armor, and even to a certain degree also weapons, require a lot of this sort of knowledge and all these bullet points of knowledge. And I think for anatomy specifically, you could also apply that to chibis. And chibis, I think, have this extra layer because they are a heavily stylized um, art style. And like they say, you have to know the rules before you break them, or to at least break them properly. And chibis are something I think that, just like the typical anime art style, people really underestimate because you look at it and you're like, there's no way that this isn't easy to do. And let me tell you something. I don't know if this is just like an individual experience here because I struggle with anime art styles and chibis. I struggle so much because these art styles will force you to really understand proportions and then understand how to break them. And chibis go a step further because they're even more further stylized in the proportion department. And there's just so many ways to do chibis. You'll see artists have many different variations of how they draw these types of little caricatures of people and animals because you can chibify pretty much anything. And so I think exploring this sort of caricature art style is very important. It will force you to understand general proportions and how to size them down in a way that is aesthetically pleasing. It will force you to understand the general anatomy of the body if we're working with, a human, and then size it also in a way that is aesthetically pleasing, but that also makes sure you understand the general anatomy of the body part that you're drawing. So like let's say you're drawing feet, a lot of there's a popular way to draw chibis that make the feet really really big, and understanding the general anatomy of the foot and then blowing it up in proportion to the already stylized proportion of the chibi is, is something, okay? And the layering of all these things in space and the face and the head and everything, and you can apply the same principle to every part of the human body to this, is honestly an incredible feat. No pun intended. So I definitely recommend the use of chibis to practice your anatomy. And I wouldn't say to learn anatomy, obviously you want to go in, learn where, all your basic landmarks are, how long everything is, how thick, how to do your quote unquote actual accurate anatomy. I would use chibis more to practice um, just the general feeling of shapes and volume and layering and the form of things, and to kind of push your knowledge of proportions and how they kind of go all together. So I think chibis are a good, and they're very fast to do as well. Maybe not for me because sometimes they take me longer to do than an actual quote unquote anatomically correct body. So, to each their own. But yeah, I highly recommend chibis if you have not heard that tip before. Highly recommend them to practice just in general your art fundamentals. So that is one of the reasons why I wanted to share this video today. So either way, thank you so much for watching this video. I'm sorry for the old footage. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed the commentary. Let me know what you guys thought down below. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe. Join the Nippy family. The more, the merrier. And those of you that watched the last video as well, thank you for watching that. It was very, very different to what I normally do. I wanted to see how you guys felt about maybe doing some reacts on this channel and not just speed paints and not just drawing, and maybe doing some art commentary that isn't, doesn't involve me putting my pen to the paper. So let me know what you guys thought about that as well if you haven't watched it yet. And yeah, thank you again for supporting me and the channel. And I will be creating more videos for you this year, hopefully weekly. And so with that being said, I will see you guys next week. Bye.